These are the famous ghats or steps of Varanasi, and to me they conjure up everything about India. The eclectic architecture, the colours, the noise, the smell, but also combined with the spirituality of the place, the local culture, people's faith. This is an absolutely magical city. The city is so important to people of the Hindu faith because it's built on the banks of the holy river Ganges. This waterway is so revered that people flock here from all over India and the world to take to the sacred waters. It's believed that to be cremated here guarantees the deceased eternal salvation. Funeral pyres line the river and fires burn continuously day and night. The first time I saw the so-called burning ghat, it was a little bit of a shock, to see bodies being cremated out in the open on piles of wood next to the river. And I think really it's just because my background is so different. When I go to a crematorium, you have a coffin, it just goes along a conveyor belt, a curtain's drawn. In India, life's different. It's out in the open, in the streets, and it shouldn't really come as a surprise that death is very different too. Ashes and partially cremated bodies are sent down the river to their final resting place. While it's a spiritual honour, any residual bacteria, parasites or disease from the deceased are released into the river as well. The trouble is that 400 million people live along the Ganges River, and as the population has boomed, so has the pollution. This sacred waterway is used as a swimming pool, laundry, bathroom and rubbish tip. It's so heavily polluted at Varanasi that the water is septic. No dissolved oxygen exists. River samples show a fecal bacterial count that's 3,000 times the safe level for bathing. Each day, around 60,000 people go down to the ghats of the holy Ganges River to take their daily spiritual dip along a 7-kilometre stretch of water. Along this same area, 30 large sewers are continuously discharging into the river. With that in mind, am I brave enough to do what the locals do here every day? I'm hoping that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, because I'm going to take part in an ancient Hindu ritual, taking ablutions in the river, with local spiritual guide Ravi.
Now you look very...
I'm afraid
nice.
I might be a bit more full-bodied than you, Ravi.
Nice.
I might be laughing now, but to be honest, I'm a bit worried.
You sure? Yes, sure, don't worry.
It's, this water's very warm, unnaturally warm, I think. Unnaturally warm.
And you are going to take bath in the nectar.
Where's next
not
step?
in the water.
Where's next step? In where? Nectar?
Yes.
This doesn't smell or feel like nectar, I'm sorry.
Come down.
I can't believe I'm actually doing this.
Wait,
This current's really strong as well. Maybe it's lucky that the water's so murky. It means that I can't see what's lurking below the surface. Oh, this water's wonderful and warm, but there's lots of stuff in it that doesn't look entirely pleasant. Still, Ravi's confident this is going to do me a world of good, and this is in fact nectar.
Yes.
Well, here goes.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Cheers, Ravi, you're a
You
lifesaver.
feel Varanasi, the real Varanasi, smell of Varanasi.
The smell of Varanasi, I'll never forget it, I tell you.
Never.
Believers say that bathing in the Ganges clears up skin diseases and drinking the holy water cleanses the soul and cures the ill. I've got to say, that just tastes like water. I can't taste much, just sort of vegetally water. But I'm not certain it's a really good idea,
Sir, it's bacteria-free.
Bacteria-free?
Round the year.
Bacteria-free around the year, according to Ravi.
Huh?
I don't know about clean. This is beautiful and won't want to put it on now, look. So, time for coffee?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Only time will tell whether the miraculous Ganges has done me any good. That's the coolest I've been in India. It's not just humans that flock to Varanasi in huge numbers. The Ganges is also a popular destination for a notorious bloodsucker. Sandflies are very widespread insects. You find them all over the world wherever there's water, flowing water. They need it to breed. They breed in rivers or streams and then lay their eggs on rocks or plants by the water's edge. They also need something else which isn't in short supply here in Varanasi. That's blood. And they're not that fussy. They don't mind whether it's the blood of a human being or one of these water buffalo here. You can see it's sandfly paradise. Ooh. Now that one drew blood. The problem is that sandflies in India can deliver a harmful parasite. They regurgitate the tiny parasites into the pool of blood during feeding, which wriggle their way into your body. Once inside, the parasites can hijack our white blood cells. In there, they're safe to reproduce and attack us in greater numbers. Brace yourself for these next images, because the disease these parasites cause, called leishmaniasis, is terrifying. They cause volcanic, boil-like sores. But some leishmaniasis parasites migrate inside the body and infest your internal organs, which is much more dangerous. This internal or visceral form is known locally as Kala Azar, which means black fever. Sandflies are most active in the twilight hours, but I'm out and about at this time of day for reasons of my own. Over the last week, I've had an upset stomach, and I'm worried that I've picked up a nasty gut parasite during my travels. I've brought a stool sample here to the Institute of Medical Sciences in Varanasi for testing. Professor TM, hi. Good to see you again. And I won't shake your hand. That would be a bad idea, wouldn't it?
I've been examining stool.
Oh, wonderful. Good to see you hard at work. On that subject, I haven't been feeling too good recently, and I'd never give this present to anybody else but you. I wondered if you could check me out, please.
Oh, thank you. I'm used to it.
Who knows what nasty creatures could be residing in my stool sample? But if I'm going to find out, microbiologist Professor Mohapatra is the man for the job.
What I believe that you might be having either giardia infection or amoebic infection.
So you think because of my discomfort and loose stools and flatulence, it could be either amoeba or giardia causing the problem? Both of these tiny parasites are seriously dangerous if left untreated. They live in your intestine, but if they infect your digestive system, they cause acute diarrhea.
Can I break the news to you?
Do. It's like my own little pregnancy test here.
You are suffering from giardia infection.
Really, I've picked up giardia?
Oh, yes. I can see a lot of giardia cyst under the microscope.
Immature giardia parasites are protected by an outer shell, so can survive outside our body for long periods of time. Millions of these germs can be released from an infected human or animal in a single bowel movement. So really, what concerns me is how I got it. Because it means that somewhere along my travels, I've swallowed somebody else's fecal matter. So how would I have done that?
Earlier this week, you had a dip in Ganges.
Yes, we did. Yes, I had a dip in the Ganges. You don't think I picked it up there, do you?
Maybe that while taking a dip, you might have taken 1 or 2 gulps of water.
Lots of people take dips there.
They are exposed and immune.
Right.
You are not immune.
Well, I guess that explains why I'm not feeling so good. So I might get off and have a rest. Thank you very much. Wonderful. See you. A quick course of prescription medicine and plenty of water to replace my lost fluids from diarrhea, and I'm back on my way.